Hi everybody, welcome back. Time to do a little bit of yoga. Unroll your mat, grab a couple of props as you need to help you through your asana practice today. Please remember to modify as you see fit, as it makes sense for you. Challenge yourself where you can, but always back off as you need to. Before we begin, please remember to click the subscribe button. Clicking subscribe will also notify you every time I add content, which is frequent. In the description below, you will see my website and email information to find out how you can join me for live Zoom classes Monday through Friday. Let's begin in a comfortable seat on the mat. Let your hands rest on the legs. You can turn the palms down or up. Sitting nice and tall, maybe close the eyes if that's comfortable. Just checking in with the breath. Keeping the breath moving in and out through the nose as best you can. Simply observing. Keeping the eyes closed, bring both palms together at the heart. Sink your chin toward the chest. Feel free to set your intention if you choose. Letting your hands return toward the legs, opening up the eyes if they're not already open. We'll begin today with an uncomplicated stress-relieving exercise. Take your left hand, reach it to the outside of your head on the right side, right above your right ear, without putting any real pressure here on your head. Sink your left ear toward the shoulder. Keep the chest lifted, drop the shoulders, and just let your eyes look to your right. So the ear relaxes to the left, while your eyes look to the right. Slowly return to center. Let your head come back to neutral. Drop the left hand down, switching sides. Take the right palm to the left side of your head, just above your left ear. Again, no real pressure here on the head. Let your right ear soften to the shoulder. Chest up, shoulders away from the ears. Sit tall. Just your eyes look toward the left. Deep breaths. Start to come back to center. Let the right hand return onto the legs. So this exercise to release stress actually resets your vagus nerve, which regulates anxiety levels in the body. So whenever you start to feel a little stressed or you start to feel anxiety creeping up, whether that's, tensing up in the shoulders, or whether that's getting a headache, or just the things that you know tend to result in stress in your body, you can do that little exercise on your own. You only need about 30 seconds, which is about the equivalent of 5 deep breaths on each side. Let's come on to hands and knees, moving into our asana practice. Starting with your right leg reaching back on the mat, tuck the toes so the right heel presses back. Nice and easy, waking up the leg. Keeping the breath lengthened, slow inhales. Slow exhales, maybe firing up your ujjayi breath. Start to lift up the right leg. Bring your right knee outside the left leg and sink back toward the heels just a little bit, or just enough until you feel a stretch a little more in the hip. Let's take one more breath. And coming back up, return the right knee to the right side, go the other way. Left leg back, starting with the toes tucked. Gently press the heel back. Start lifting the left leg, put a bend in the left knee, drop it outside the right leg. Shift back a little bit, just enough until you feel a nice stretch. You'll probably feel the stretch in more than one spot, but the primary stretch will probably be in your outer left hip. Take one more deep breath. Let's return back to neutral, left knee to the left side. Spread the fingers wide, lining up your wrist crease with the front edge of the mat. Come to downward facing dog, hips up and back. Feel free to walk out the feet a little, stretch out the legs. Shaking everything off. On a big inhale, lift the heels high. With your exhale, sink the heels back to the mat. Let's roll forward to plank pose, lining up the shoulders over the wrist. When you come forward into your plank, observe if you're making any big adjustments, right, with your feet. Sometimes, I see people do this, shifting their feet all the way back. You want to make sure that you have the right distance in your down dog, and the way to determine that is how much you're readjusting between the down dog and plank. For example, going back to down dog, your heels relax to the mat, start to come forward into plank. You should be able to come into it nice and easy with little readjusting, right? Take one more deep breath in. And with little readjusting between the hands and the feet, bring it back to down dog. So you might make a minuscule adjustment just to reset your feet, but just making sure you're not shortening your down dog or lengthening the down dog a little bit too much when you go from your plank to your down dog. Put a soft bend in the knees, look forward through the hands, walk or hop the feet to the front of the mat. Fold over the legs, keeping your feet about hip width distance apart. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Stretch the arms overhead and maintaining at least a micro bend in the knees, but you're welcome to bend the knees nice and deep if you want to go for it. Head down, stretching the arms over. If there's room to sway gently, feel free to do that. And letting the arms relax to the mat. We'll interlace the fingers again behind the back, switching the grip so the opposite pinky finger sits on top. Always making sure to keep things as balanced as we can in our yoga practice. Take one more deep breath. And relaxing the arms again toward the mat. Begin rolling up slowly to stand. Press down, uncurl, stacking one vertebra at a time on top of the next. And relax the shoulders back. Big inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Urdhva Hastasana. Look up at your thumbs. Exhale, dive over the legs. With your inhale, lift the chest. Exhaling, send the left leg back in a low lunge. Lower the back knee, lift the arms up. Let's take a nice twist. Go to the right side. Take the left hand outside the right leg, the right arm drapes gently around the lower back. So the hips are still facing forward, the torso opens to the side, and if it feels good to do so, maybe let the hips sink in on the stretch. Good. Looking toward the right side, let's take one more breath. Return to center, lower your hands, come into a half split pose. Start to straighten the right leg using blocks if you need under the hands. Take one more breath. Rebend the right knee, down dog, step back. Big inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower your knees, chest and chin, keep the elbows close. Slide it through into Bhujangasana Cobra pose, returning to downward facing dog or taking child's pose. 3 deep breaths. And from your downward facing dog, soften the knees, look forward, walk or hop the feet to the front of the mat. Lift the chest on the inhale. Exhale, round down. Big inhale, sweep the arms around, Urdhva Hastasana, lift up, reach overhead, look up. Exhale, dive over the legs. Chest up on the inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right foot back, low lunge. Lower the right knee. Anjaneyasana, low crescent arms high. Take a little twist, go to the left, right hand outside the left knee, left arm drapes gently around the lower back. If it feels good, maybe the hips sink forward. Take one more deep breath. Come back to center, untwist, hands down, half split, Ardha Hanuman, straightening the left leg. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Rebend the left knee, down dog, step back. Inhale, take it forward to plank. Chaturanga, or drop the knees. You can even lower all the way if you're going that way to modify. Inhale, cobra or up dog, soften the shoulders. Exhaling back to down dog, or take child's pose. Give it another 3 deep breaths. Let's soften a bend in the knees from down dog. Look forward, step or float the feet to the front. Lift the chest on the inhale. Exhale, rounding down. Separate your feet about mat width distance apart. Start to bend up at the knees, sink the tailbone down, palms together, chest up. If you're modifying it all here, you can slide a blanket or something under the heels if the heels are lifting. You can also place a block on the tall side under the sit bones if that's going to feel better on the hips, right? Or just come into it a little bit, a little bit higher up, right? So there are many ways you can modify your practice. The yoga is designed to fit you, so never force yourself into any stretch. Let's take another deep breath. Relax your hands toward the mat, lift the sit bones high. Bring your feet a little bit closer until they're hip width distance apart. Padangusthasana, hand to big toe pose. Grab your big toes in yogi toe lock, first 2 fingers of each hand. Lift the chest on the inhale. Exhale, round it down. Keep the sit bones high, shoulders away from the ears. Take 2 more deep breaths. On your next inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, releasing out the toes. Padahastasana, hand to foot pose. Lift the fronts of the feet, sliding the hands under. Take a big inhale. Exhale, drop the toes down, head down. Continue folding, 3 deep breaths. On your next inhale, start lifting the chest. Exhaling, releasing out the hands. Bring your hands to the waist with a flat back. Press up slow. Come all the way up. Keep the hands on the waist. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Start to shift your weight over to the right leg, bending up at the left knee, either bringing your hands to the knee and holding here, or if you want to go for it, rest your right hand on the waist, grab your big left toe in yogi toe lock. The right leg remains solid, straight as best it can. Chest up, lift up, and either balance here, look past the end of the nose, or if you're feeling adventurous, you want to go for it, press your left heel forward. It's okay if the left knee bends a little bit, but the standing leg always needs to be solid. Let's take one more deep breath. And wherever you are, start bending up at the left knee again. Take your left hand to the knee, coming into a figure 4 pose. Start to bend the right knee, palms together at the heart. Bring your left ankle above the right knee, almost like you're coming into a half chair pose. And just let the right knee bend, keep the chest up, keep gazing at your drishti past the end of the nose. This should feel like a nice stretch through the outer left hip. Let's take one more deep breath. Good. And start to lengthen up, straighten the right leg, lower your left foot down toward the mat, let the arms relax by your side, shake it off. Bring both hands back to the waist, standing tall. Shift your weight to the left leg, bend the right knee. Keep the hips level as best you can, so avoid picking up the right hip a little too much. Hands to the right knee. You can hold here, balance, or left hand to the waist. Grab your big right toe, yogi toe lock, press down, chest up. Keep gazing at one point. And if you want to go for it, press the right heel out. The right knee can bend, the standing leg is solid. Take one more breath. Transitioning into our figure 4 pose, start to bend the right knee. Bring your right hand to the knee. Start to bend the left knee just a little, palms together at the heart. Place the right ankle above the left knee. Continue bending the left knee. And you can work into that as deep as you choose. All right, so as long as you're feeling a stretch in the hip, then you're going exactly as you need. Let's take another deep breath. Start to slowly come up, straightening the left leg. Bring your right foot to the mat, palms together, stay at the heart, Samastutihi, gazing past the end of the nose. Big inhale, sweep the arms around, Urdhva Hastasana, look up at your thumbs. Exhale, dive over the legs. With your inhale, lift the chest. With your exhale, step the left foot back in a low lunge. Soften the back knee, look forward for balance. Come into high lunge, sweep both arms up. Keep the back knee a little soft. Just adding on to what we did. We're going to step up, holding on to the left knee, then coming into figure 4. Look past the end of the nose. With an inhale, slowly step the back leg up, hands to the knee. Keep the left knee lifted, palms together, figure 4, left ankle above the right knee. Bend the knee. One more breath. Let's come back up, step into high lunge. Again, bring the left foot back, return the arms overhead. Drop the shoulders. Take it out to warrior 2, left heel down, arms out. Take another deep breath. On your inhale, start to straighten the front leg, Trikonasana. Turn the arms, triangle pose. Lengthening down the right leg, lift the left arm high. Take 2 more deep breaths. Bending up at the right knee, come into half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Reach the right hand in front, maybe use a block. Float the left leg up off the mat. Left arm high. Once you have your firm foundation, then start to shift your gaze left. Try peeking up at your left fingertips. Give it 1 more breath. Transition through standing split pose. Lower the left hand, forehead to the right shin. Low lunge. Touch the left toes on the mat. Step back to down dog. Bring your right foot back. You can hold down dog or flow through your plank and chaturanga. Meeting back in down dog. From down dog, soften the knees, look forward. Walk or hop the feet to the front. Chest up on the inhale. Exhale, round down. Big inhale, sweep the arms around, rise up. Lift out of the waist as you reach overhead. Palms together at the heart, Samastitihi. Big inhale, sweep the arms around, Urdhva, look up. Exhale, dive over the legs. Chest up on the inhale. Exhale, right foot back, low lunge. Soften the back knee, look forward, high lunge, arms to the sky. As we did on the first side, keep gazing past the end of the nose. With an inhale, step up, hands to the right knee. Hold as you exhale, palms together, figure 4, right ankle above the left knee, bending up at the left knee. Drop the shoulders, keep the chest lifted, take 1 more breath. Coming back up, transition to high lunge again. Bring your right foot back, arms to the sky. Take it out for warrior 2. Look over the left middle finger, breathing in, breathing out. Straightening out the front leg, triangle pose, Trikonasana. Turn the arms, left hand down, right arm up, 3 deep breaths. Start to peek down at your front foot. Put a little bend in the left knee. Half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Left hand out, right leg up. Press up and away from the mat. Use the breath. When you're stable, that's when you start to shift your gaze to the right. Peek up at your fingertips. Take 1 more breath. Standing split, lower the right hand, forehead to the front shin. Low lunge, right foot, step it back. Downward facing dog, left foot back, hold or flow. Good, let's come into a brief child's pose. Lower the knees, toes together, hips to heels. Just reconnecting with the breath in case it's gotten a little bit away from you. Revisiting your intention. Take 1 more breath. Slowly release the hands back. Come up onto hands and knees. Let's take a seat. Sweep your legs over to one side, then around front. Actually, I'm going to do this facing you. Let's get into the hips a little bit more. Come first into a cross-legged seat. And it doesn't matter which foot you put in front. We're going to do both sides. So you can remain here in Sukhasana if this is going to make more sense for the knees and the hips. Either sit tall, chest up. You can lean in, or you can walk the hands out. keeping your sit bones on the mat. If you have the space to do so in the hips, and if the knees are agreeable, come into a double ankle to knee, right? It's a fire log pose. Bringing your top leg, your top shin on top of the other. Ankle to knee, knee to ankle. If your top foot is falling short of the knee, please make sure the bottom of the foot doesn't point up toward the sky. It's going to put a little too much pressure on the outside of the leg. You can, however, modify bringing your top foot over the bottom knee. Okay, so you can do that as an option. Okay, so find where you are or stay in Sukhasana. Sit tall. Maybe this is deep enough right here on the hips. If you can, if there's room, lean in or come all the way forward. Just come as far forward as you can, but allow yourself to round in the stretch. And maybe this is a good opportunity to grab a prop, a block or something under the forehead if you want, so you can at least not worry about taking on tension in the neck and shoulders as you release the hips. This is a nice yin stretch right here, getting really deep into the hips. Let's take 3 to 5 more deep breaths. Start to release out as you uncurl. Return all the way upright if you're not already. Unwrap your legs, extend them out, and feel free to shuffle out the feet a little bit. We'll go the other way. Come into a cross-legged seat. I am bringing my opposite foot in front. You should do the same, so take the opposite side. Again, maybe you're here. Maybe lean in, maybe walk the hands in, walk the hands out, making sure to avoid coming off your sit bones if you're taking Sukhasana. You're still going to get the hip stretch, right? So it's just a modified variation instead of the fire log pose. If the knees, the hips are agreeable, come back up, then take your top shin on top of the other, ankle to knee, knee to ankle. Bringing your top foot over if it needs to, okay? Be aware, avoid falling short. Okay, sit tall. Maybe here, maybe lean in or walk the hands out. If you did it on the first side, you want to give it a go here. Block or some prop under your forehead to let you remain in the stretch without having to become aware of the neck and the shoulders. Just round into the stretch here. Deep breaths. Let's take 3 to 5 more deep breaths. And start to release out nice and easy. Slide the hands back, lift the head up, uncurl away from the mat. extend both legs out again, shuffle out the feet. Let's bend at the knees. Nice counter stretch here. Separating your feet, drop your knees over to the right, sit tall, look to the left. Hold for a deep breath in. Hold for a deep breath out. Come back to center, go the other way. Drop your knees to the left, sit tall, look to the right. Good, come back to center. Come up onto your hands and knees. Working our way to the end of our practice. Have a seat on your heels, coming into Virasana. If you need some assistance, grab a block. Put the block between the heels, okay, to take pressure off the knees. You can also slide a blanket behind the knees to ease off pressure. If you're otherwise good to go, maybe stay on the heels, maybe separate your feet, keep the knees close together so your sit bones soften toward the mat. Maybe this is deep enough right here. Start to slightly tuck the tailbone, lengthening the tops of the legs, chest up, shoulders back. Easing into this back bend. If you're otherwise good to go, you can work into it deeper by lowering maybe your elbows and staying here. This is probably where I'm going to leave you off today. If you have room to do so, maybe lower all the way down onto your back. All right, so the top of your head is on the mat. Actually, okay, we are there. So watch the breath, making sure the breath is still moving free and clear. And if you're here with your upper back on the mat, maybe slide the arms overhead, take your hands to opposite elbows. Taking another 2 or 3 deep breaths. And start to release out, one elbow at a time, one hand at a time. Slowly, slowly come back up. Releasing out, come forward. Bring your sit bones back, coming into Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of the feet together. And taking your hands to your feet, sit tall, lengthen forward, take 2 or 3 deep breaths. And start to lengthen all the way back up. Fold the knees in, straighten out your legs on the mat. Come forward and reach for your feet. Maybe use a strap or belt if you need. Lengthen, take 2 or 3 more deep breaths. Start to slowly uncurl, come back up, bending up at the knees, roll onto your backs, bring the knees in toward the chest. Hugging the legs in, rock a little side to side or grab a happy baby pose if you choose. And start to release your legs out on the mat, settling into Savasana, maybe even using blocks or a blanket under the knees if you like to help release the lower back out a little bit. Optional, of course. As you settle into space, let the feet separate a little bit, turn the palms up, let the eyes close. Softening the space between the eyebrows, unclenching the jaw, letting go of the Ujjayi breath. Just let yourself soften into space. Embracing these few moments of stillness before returning to your day. Begin lengthening the breath, gradually returning awareness to the body as you wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe gently roll the head a little side to side. Reaching your arms overhead, enjoy a nice waking stretch. Bringing the knees into the chest one more time. Roll slowly to one side, and keeping the eyes closed a little bit longer. Come back up to a comfortable seated position on the mat. Bringing palms together at the heart, relax your chin to your chest. Use this opportunity to revisit your intention. And always taking the time to honor your efforts and honor your practice today. You're welcome to join me chanting one Om as we seal our class, beginning with a deep breath in, taking a deep breath out, inhaling, Om. Namaste.